ओ है।
हाँ वो पोज के ना वो निचड़ दो दिया करो।
अच्छा, so in a circle you can draw as many chords you like as, but out of them some are smaller and some are larger. This is a bigger chord, say TU. In the same way you can draw many segment chords this way, but one chord which passes through the center of the circle is the largest among them. So there are two questions: how many chords you can draw in a circle? You can draw infinite number of chords in a circle. Which is the longest chord of the circle? The diameter is the longest chord of the circle. The diameter means it is passing through the center and joining any 2 points on the circle, E and F. These are the 2 points on the circle, E and F. And also the line segment joining them is passing through the center O. Therefore, it is the diameter of the circle and also the longest chord of this circle. So, this much at present is enough about chords. So, how many chords? Infinitely many chords can be drawn in a circle. The longest chord is the diameter itself. What is diameter? You know two concepts about diameter. It is twice the radius of the circle. Previously, you were studying that OP is the radius of the circle. The distance from the center of the circle to any point on the circle is the radius. Now, when we look into this, the distance from the center O to E is one radius, and that from O to F is another radius. So, a diameter is formed, or it consists two radii in itself. So, it is double of the radius, we can say. Therefore, the diameter is the longest chord of the circle. Then there comes another concept about circle, and that is related to the part of the circle. Let us see. Chord you have already known. Now we will know about the arc of a circle. Say there are 2 points on the circle, P and Q. The part of the circle between any 2 points, or piece of a circle between 2 points on the circle, will be known as an arc of the circle. So PQ will be known as arc PQ. But which one of them is arc PQ? This one or this one? Because this part of the circle or piece of the circle is also between the same 2 points. So don't get confused here. Any 2 points on the circle, divide it into 2 arcs, out of which one is smaller and the other is bigger or larger, you can say. So the larger one will be known as the major arc, and the smaller one will be known as the minor arc. So there is nothing to get confused. Each chord divided the circle into 2 segments. In the same way, each arc or any 2 points divide the circle into 2 arcs, out of which one is the minor arc and one is the major arc. How to represent them? Either you write arc PQ or you can write PQ and this sign on the 2 letters which we have used, or the 2 points, the 2 letters denoting 2 points, and then above them a curved line, small line, will be the symbol of arc, and it will be all read as arc PQ, not just PQ. In the same way as we read it AB, it will be line segment AB. When there is this sign upon them, we will call it line AB. When this side symbol is upon them, we call it ray AB. In the same way, when this sign is upon the two letters, you call it arc PQ. There is no need to write the spelling. It is just similar to the process we write square centimeter in this manner as well as in this manner. Square is here. Either you write the spelling or you put a symbol. Simple. So this is the method you denote an arc. So any 2 points on the circle, divide it into 2 arcs, out of which one is minor and the other is major. This was another new concept for class 9th because we were not aware of the arcs and chords in 8th till 8th class. These things are new, and not only these are the basic things. On the base of these, we will have to read some higher concepts also, some calculations and some theorems based upon them are included in your 9th and 10th class syllabus. The endpoints of a diameter. Suppose these points are the endpoints of a chord. They can be joined together, then a chord will be formed. In the same way, if the 2 points are located at such places that the line joining them passes through the center, then this arc and the lower arc both are equal in their length. Therefore, these 2 arcs will be known as semicircles. They will be known as semicircles. Which is the arc, or which is the chord which divides a circle into 2 equal segments as well as into 2 equal arcs? That the answer will be the diameter of the circle divides into 2 arcs of the same length and 2 segments of the same size. You have to keep it clear in your mind forever. Now we will move forward to segments and sectors, which are based on one of them each. On the base of chord, whatever you have learnt about chord, you can easily understand what is segment is. In this circle, this is a chord which joins 2 points P and Q. Now it divides the whole circle into 2 portions. So what definitions you can give about a segment? These 2 are segment, major segment and minor segment. I have already told you. How will you define it? If anybody asks what is a segment, all of a sudden asks you what is a segment, then in one sentence your explanation must look complete and every aspect must be touched about a segment. So you will say the region between an arc and the 2 radii, the region between a chord and either of its arcs is a segment. So this is the arc and this is the chord, and the region between them is this one. This will be known as a segment. Again the same rule applies here. This is the arc. Of course it is the major arc, and this is the chord, and this is the area included between them, region between them. So this is another segment. Now this is the bigger segment or the major segment, and this is the minor segment. This much at present is enough about segments. Later on we will, in class 10th, we will have to measure these also along with the sector, which we are just going to introduce. What is sector? We have to know about sector also. So first of all, we have left one thing. Which chord divides the circle into 2 equal segments? Answer is straight and simple. The diameter, which is the longest chord of a circle, divides it into 2 equal segments. This is the diameter joining points R and S and passing through O. It divides into 2 equal segments. These 2 segments are equal. So diameter is the chord which divides a circle into two equal segments. Now what about sector? It is as simple as the segment. It is related to the arc in the same way as the segment was related to a chord. So what will you say about a sector? This is an arc and the endpoints are joined to the center by two radii OP and OQ. This region is known as the sector of a circle. Now we have to define it. What definition can you give about it? What are the necessary conditions which are required to make a sector? A portion of the circle, that is arc, and the end points joined to the center, that means two radii and an arc are required to make a sector. So in your definitions you have to include these factors which are very necessary in the very definition of an arc. What do you say about sector? If anybody asks, you will have to recall the region. This region, I am talking about this is sector. But now what definition is to be given for this and how can we define it? That is the point. So you can say the region between an arc and the two radii joining the endpoints of the arc to the center of the circle is known as a sector. The region which is between an arc and two radii which join the endpoints to the center of the circle is known as a sector. Now this is not the only sector in this circle. At present you must not be seeing this one. This was another sector formed by the same two radii but a different arc. The arc is PQ. This sector has been formed by the major arc PQ. This sector has been formed by the minor arc PQ. Because the same definitions applies here also. Two radii joining the endpoints of the arc to the center and the arc. Between them the area included is known as sector. So the same definitions applies for the major sector as well as for the minor sector. This is the concept of sector, basic introduction of sector. Now we will talk about chords again. We will start from chords first and then we will have to come again to arcs. But first we have to see some higher